welcome to the show that does everything to keep you breathing. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu. Last week on the front page, we discussed NLC's suspension of his nationwide protest, the federal government slamming $10 billion fine on Binance, and World Zero Discrimination Day. Well, my guest will join me shortly for this week's headlines, but we seem to begin this conversation on a sad note, because the first conversation is about the passing of an icon, a legend if you may, Mr. Ibu. Now, in October 2023, the veteran actor was reported ill and required financial assistance. Fans and well-wishers donated to save his life. But in November of the same year, Okafor's family confirmed that one of his legs had to be amputated to keep him alive. The amputation became necessary because of an infection of the arteries of the ankle that was not detected early. Now, the ace actor died this week after he was moved to the intensive care unit at Evercare Hospital. He was 62 years. And still connected to that, singer Paul Okoye, aka Rude Boy, shared a video. Late Ibu on his sickbed praying for him and appreciating him while he was ill. The singer paid some of the sick actor's medical bills and was physically present with him at the hospital while he battled with his health. Take a listen.
I don't know where to start my life, but everything happens exactly on God's own time. When the time comes, it has come. You go to heaven and sit down in the presence of the angel and eat together. We'll be here what happened life will never.
Well, some people on social media claim that was one of the final moments of the actor. Well, my guest is here, educator and public affairs analyst, Mr. Isaac Uwadiunor. Good morning, Mr. Isaac.
Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Rivers people, and happy Saturday to everybody.
Yes, indeed. Joining us.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Ibu is no longer with us. We're losing our icons. There are so many conversations connected to his passing. What do you make of it, sir?
Well, you know, as a typical African man, we must show sympathy. May his soul rest in peace. That's one. Well, there are so many sides to it, but I think what I can make out of it, you did mention something about diabetes and the infection of the arteries. It's also very important for us, as our life, to begin to take our health seriously. You don't need to be hit before you get to the hospital. We encourage routine checks, it's very vital, which is also one side to it. Talking about his value, there's no doubting the fact that the man has paid his dues as far as the entertainment industry is concerned in Nigeria.
That's right.
One unique thing about Mr. Ibu is that there's nobody who will claim not to have seen him. I may not have watched much of his films, but I know in terms of comedy, he's 100%.
Yeah.
Sam, that raises another side of his life. What are we living for? Mr. Ibu was not a professor of theatre art. He was a lecturer in University of Port Harcourt. He was a street man. And through his God-given talents, he has been able to attract a lot of goodwill to himself and to the society.
Yeah.
And he has contributed to the furtherance of the art industry in Nigeria. I think the man deserves a national award, even though it's posthumous. That's one. And that is where the government of the state where he comes from should begin to look at it too. All of us may not be in government house, but if we make a mark like Mwabali, then we should be rewarded. That's an angle to it.
Quite the reference.
So, yes.
Okay. There is a disturbing trend, and even though I know that it doesn't come cheap, these treatments, where icons and those who are easily recognizable that have served in some capacity, in the event that their health is failing, crowdfunding seems to be the next available option. Asking fans to donate. There have been so many entertainers, so many famous people who have been in that position, and there were calls to the public, please, let's help save the life of so and so who we love, who's a legend, who's an icon. And it makes one wonder, aren't there packages, planned programs for such eventualities that if a person is in that position, will not need to come to the public?
Well, Sam, let me put it to you like this. That even the boxers that we know and some of the wrestlers we know, it does happen to them at old age. They'll come out. Understand something. I made mention of something that he was a street man. The question is, irrespective of all that he has done, how much is he paid for every appearance he makes in a movie? And there are also some of them that are also living in delusion. I'm not talking about Ibu per se. But there are some of them who are governed by societal rules. Let me drive the best car today. I don't know what to have tomorrow. Let me live in the most, wonderful estate. This issue of planning. It's about planning. That's what I'm saying. You see, and it has been the problem of a typical African man. The African man makes money today. He believes until he's able to exhaust all of them, he will not think of the future. And the situation in the country is not helping issues. If you keep money in the bank, like those people who are doing pension scheme now, who actually looked at their money and they said, I have 6 million 4 years ago. Only for you now to come back with the floating of the naira. You just discover that your 6 million is like 6 naira. So that kind of a thing is also affecting it. But whether we like it or not, actors and actresses should begin to invest in estates, real estates, and also begin to, do something of value, so that when they are hit by situation and circumstances like this, they'll have something to fall back to. I believe if they have a prime property like the one in Lagos, there's a big estate in Lagos like that. At a critical time like this, you can fling it, because health is king all over the world. Indeed.
And moving from evil, as we say in these kinds of situations, may his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
To an observant of the biggest in the world, really. International Women's Day, commemorated on March 8th every year.
Yeah.
And if you're conversant with the calendar, you know that was yesterday. The theme for this year is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. But more and more women have been speaking about the growing absence of safety nets for women in society. In Port Harcourt, some women told our correspondent they feel neglected with no support system as they deal with the challenges of the current economic hardship. The women, who are mostly petty traders, said they struggle to make daily income to feed and shelter their families.
I want to start up a business. If I want to start, how much will I take to the market, and how much will follow me to return after selling? Because I want to go into cooking. Things are expensive. Now I can't even use 3,000 naira to cook food. See, now if you want to eat food, you only see water and vegetable inside your soup. Now I cannot even see income of 5,000 in a week. If I able to sell 10,000, if I go to market now, that 10,000 cannot buy market. Since January till now, I cannot save even 5,000. Now we cannot finish. If you watch, we are eating abacha. The economic is bad. Let government do something. All this is where the cost rise, Gary. Make the price come down. But since it's very high, if you want travel now, like 100,000, no go fit go your village. The price of fuel to come down too.
I listened to this earlier. The abacha part got me because I eat abacha from time to time. I never knew that it was a struggling man's delicacy. But in a related development, Chairman of Nigeria Bar Association in Ahoda, River State, Hilda Desmond, is calling on religious leaders, traditional rulers, and opinion leaders to sensitize citizens on available gender laws that empower and promote women's rights. Dr. Desmond made the call as the world marked Women's Day.
Despite the passage of these laws, some females have come back to me to say, our father died, they are still disinheriting us. Some of them don't even know they are right. Religious leaders have a lot of influence. They should talk about these laws on their pulpits. Advocates like us are ready, if called upon, to come and expatiate and make these laws known, even in our communities. Our opinion leaders, our traditional rulers, they have a very huge role to play. Because even before at times these matters go to the customary court or high court, it comes to their palace. If they identify with it and make sure they enforce it in their various communities, women will be empowered.
All right, so this year's theme, as stated earlier, invest in women, accelerate progress. Ms. Isaac, I'm certain you have women in your life, wife, daughters, mother, auntie, friends. Do they enjoy accelerated progress, sir?
Stam, let's start like this. I think it's good to give a shout out to all our women.
Okay.
So that's the first thing, because our primary constituency, they are actually part of the primary constituency.
Okay.
Ironically, my mom passed on years back. So
my.
I have plenty sisters. I have daughters. I have a wife. So there's so much to say. But I want us to look at the theme for the year. Invest in women and accelerate progress. There's no doubt in the fact that women are catalysts to development.
Indeed.
Yeah. I remember one of the courses I took while I was still doing a program in Uniport here, and I have to discuss women, and market organization and development.
Okay.
Taught by one Dr. Ekbotu, and it was quite enlightening. Women are the backbone of men. We make money, they spend the money. But it's also good for you to also know that investing in women does not necessarily have to cost a fortune. It's a planting. I mean, you have to be very, very intentional. Investing in women entails sending them to school. That's the beginning. If you have an enlightened wife, your problem is 50% solved. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Some men will claim that is the source of their own problem.
Different people, different strokes. But the way it is now, if your wife is working and is empowered, I think you stand a better chance of avoiding BP. That's true. That's true. Yes. And it also takes you away from the prying eye of who is there, who is not there. I mean, women who are task oriented and, of course, who are productive. So I think it's very, very important. Women are also part and parcel of finance management. There's no doubt about that. So these are areas we should look at. I think the best we can do for women is to make sure that they are entrepreneurial in nature. If a woman is entrepreneurial in nature, it will save a lot of problems. First and foremost, your home end will be taken care of. Some men live from Monday to Friday, they're just on bread. They're just on bread and tea, maybe Lipton. Or perhaps you've been taking green tea and you live your life like that. It shows that you didn't invest. If you invest in your wife, you should know that there are several components. If you are not taking salad, you should at least take pepper soup because the weather is cold. That's one side to it. But more to that, our society must go a lot more further to do a lot for women. Actually, women bear the brunt. No matter how much you earn, what you tell her is manage. Whether she's going to cut her hand and put in the soup, I don't understand. Or maybe she's going to put part of her blood to make the soup sweet, I don't understand. But the baseline is that we tell them to manage.
And she does manage.
And she will manage.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we also need to be grateful to them for what they are doing for us. But then there are people who are progress. But I mean anti-progress in this sense. They are ladies. They don't want to work. They are waiting for the crumbs to drop. What I'm saying is that when you don't invest in women, you are likely to have a daughter who is a prostitute. Or you are likely to have a wife who is recalcitrant. You are likely to also look at a society where you now see gender issue as an affront or a challenge of your personality as men. Understand one thing. The man is the head of the family, but the woman must be loved if the man wants peace of mind for himself. I think that's my take there. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. It is a solid take. We have a break coming up in just over a minute. Let me see. Can I take messages? Well, we're live on Facebook and Twitter. It's at Nigeria Info PH. That means you can watch as you listen. You can also drop your comments on those platforms. It's the front page. About the passing of Nollywood icon Mr. Ibu and International Women's Day, which was yesterday. After the break, I'll be asking important questions. How dependent are you on the internet and social media? We were put to the test this week. I have Stanley Rentals, 1M on Facebook, saying your guest is making sense. As always, that's why he's our guest. After the break, we'll talk some more. Please stay with us. Nigeria Info. I still have with me Mr. Isaac Uwadiunor, an educator and public affairs analyst. You're welcome once again, sir.
Thank you, sir. Once more, Rivers people, you're welcome.
All right, we've talked about the passing of John Okafor, known to the free world as Mr. Ibu, International Women's Day, and we're moving to our dependency on the internet and social media. But I'd like to get your thoughts on what we've discussed so far. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06416, and we're live on Facebook and Twitter. It is at Nigeria Info PH. For Facebook is www.facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH, where you watch as you listen. You can, more importantly, drop your comments on those platforms. If and when you call, please turn off your radio. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Samuel.
Good morning.
Chinke Daniel Mogeto Zwako.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I am concerned by Nigwe. You know, why was he that silent? Such a wealthy man that nobody even knew he is from either southeast or south.
I don't understand.
His back owner, Oste University. And it gives me the thought of, just like governors, commissioners, all of them, they will be ringing bells. I still ask that question. Why was that man silent? Then, I mean his name. And today, Dangote is coming. Governor is coming. All other, even President Tinubu may be there. Please, my oracle man, tell them to resolve the seat of Chinke Daniel. I would like to witness that burial ceremony. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Chinke Daniel. We haven't gotten into that conversation yet, even though it's part of what we're going to discuss. But Chinke Daniel, I think you're the only one who does not know where Herbert Wigwe. His profile was not. He was not. I mean, while he was alive, a lot of people knew. Those who were interested. It was never a hidden. So the fact that you're saying why do people not know? I'm guessing you're expressing your position. I always knew his profile. I always did. It was never a secret.
It's always there.
It was always. I mean, and even when he started the university project, that also confirmed, where he was coming from, because a lot of the news headlines were like he's citing it in his hometown.
Yeah. So
I don't. Chinke Daniel, please. It's not. It was never secret. Okay, so let's go to an important part of our lives that has become, I would say, one of our major / basic needs. How dependent do you think we are on social media, Mr. Isaac?
It's 80% of our lives.
Okay. And do you think we can survive? If we wake up tomorrow and there's no social media or internet is shut down across the world for some reason, can we thrive and survive?
Let me start by telling you, Samora Kuchinedu, we will survive.
Okay.
But life will be harsh.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason is that we have actually built our businesses. We have built our relationships. We have even built our church services. We have even built our tradition around the internet and even our entertainment. It has become so important that without it, we feel as if something is not. Sam, have you ever traveled to a remote village like mine and there's no internet access, even to make call?
We all have.
It will look as if you are in another clime. But it has not always been like that. I remember in the 90s when I went to school, the internet was there, but then it was not. So, but with the advent of the social media, per se, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp and co, we know that any which way there will always be a pattern. At least, if you don't want your voice to be heard, you can actually drop an emoji and it will do the job. That's how much the internet has entered into us.
Well, you would ask, why am I asking this question? It is because Facebook and Instagram were down for a while on Tuesday. Users experienced a glitch as the server kept responding. Session expired. I remember that. I tried to access my Instagram and I couldn't, and I thought there was a problem. Some of the users who spoke with our correspondent said the sudden disruption led to their inability to connect with customers, advertise products or services, and manage customer inquiries. Let's hear from them.
Tapped on the app and then trying to get back on it is showing me session expired. I mean, it's not my bank app, so why is it showing me session expired? I checked on my messenger, showing the same thing.
People do make money from social media, from Instagram and also Facebook, and I feel it's from Meta. So it's having difficulties for us logging in, and it's very frustrating at the moment. I can't even do anything.
It's logging me out. So when I try to log out and put my password, phone number, it goes in and says section expired. I have no idea why. Maybe it's a glitch from them or something. I've said Facebook.
When they hacked my account the first time, that was what happened. I use this Facebook for my business. You know how much I have lost today because of this thing. So I wouldn't know why Facebook will do this.
Sorry, sir. Sorry. But it raises another question: the monopolizing of social media. I think when it comes to social media, the biggest name is Mark Zuckerberg, because
of course
he owns Meta, the umbrella body of Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp.
Yes.
So if their servers are down, a large chunk of people's lives, and this is where the argument around one man having so much power comes up. Do you think there might be need to decentralize so that people are not stranded?
Well, Sam, I think I'd like you to look at the issue of X and Thread. When they both came, we were looking at them that there will be competition, but it's obvious now that X is still in vogue.
Yeah,
that's the truth. The internet world is actually a big market. We're not saying that competitors shouldn't enter, but when you look at the investment of those who are ahead and what they have done and how they garner support, everybody is worried. Averagely in a day, even the woman in the village knows that she has to look at her Facebook to see her grandchildren. Let's leave Instagram for bigger boys. So just to let you know. So it will take something very, very competitive to be able to dislodge Facebook. That's the way it is. The only thing we will need to do is to maintain control. And that control is going to be by way of telling those who are involved that it's a public concern. Just like the sun. So it's not that you are a public concern. The only thing is that you make it cheaper so that other people can actually come to the industry. But the market is stiff, indeed.
Do you see a world where things might be different? I mean, there is, beyond even this happening, people have been complaining about our dependency on devices and the resources, children looking at screens for too long. We might actually be addicted. I can't count how many times I pick my phone. And if I'm not looking to make a call, the first place I'm going is a social network. So is it possible that it's beginning to disrupt the way we live negatively?
Well, Sam, there was a study recently, and it was carried out by one of my close associates on the impact of social media on our public lives. And the conclusion of the study is that we have actually entered into a one chance. I don't know whether I get the argument. Yeah, yes, we've entered into a one chance. The person who is looking for a wife will go to the social media. One way to express concern that you love the ladies to say, I love you. And it carries a love. And then come to talk about fashion. It's all over. That's why it's called World Wide Web. So we are saying that we have built our lives on social media, and it's going to affect us in future.
Yes,
if there is no caution to that. We need to have personal discipline to be able to deal with it. As a school teacher and a school administrator, the greatest problem we have in school today is that 80% of the children we manage in the school are actually distracted by the social media. Even when you say they should not come to school with phone, they still come. And when you seize their phone, their parents will still come back again, coming up with 2 or 3 excuses why their children should come to school with phone. But as a school administrator, we keep the phone till the end of the session. Okay, they will complain that the battery will run down and stuff like that. That's just school. And then think of adults without control. That's a problem.
Indeed it is. Very quickly to what has to be the biggest story for today. Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Access Holdings, Herbert Wigwe, will be buried today in his hometown in Isiokbo Ikore local government area. The funeral rites for Herbert, his wife and son, who died in an air crash in the US about a month ago, started earlier in the week. His remains were accompanied by a huge motorcade on Friday. and was received by the chairman of Ikwere local government area, Sami Wanosike, and elders of the community. And as you can tell, the airport is already experiencing traffic as visitors and community folks have started arriving to attend the burial. Among those present, the governor of the state, the deputy minister, the former governor, the Labour Party presidential candidate, Rivers APC governorship candidate, and I'm certain there are many more names that would make that list. Mr. Isaac, your take.
Let's start by saying may his soul rest in peace. That's one. I think when you begin to talk of philosopher king, Herbert Wigge is one of them. I've taken time to read through the comments from somebody like Tony, one of them, Jimmy Ovia, and a few others I also watched the presidential impute. Why is it that everybody is singing the praise of Herbert Wigge? Sam, I have a word for you. We will not be judged by the structures we put down, quote and unquote. We will be judged by the relationship we establish with people while we are alive. And to a very large extent, how it affects people, how deep our relationship was able to influence them for good, and also to reflect about Wigwe has, if not for anything, has made Ishobo, the beauty of Nigeria. If it is only for today, he has. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen. Amen. And it's truly sad. You hear thoughts along the lines of, why do good people die and all of that. And while you and I may not know him on a personal level, to call him friend, the idea behind the legacy, as I like to say, is that you build something that outlives you.
Exactly.
So what he has built, but more importantly, what he represents, is the idea that as a young Nigerian living in Nigeria, you really can, against the odds, overcome the impossible.
Of course.
Because being Nigerian is an extreme sport, Mr. Isaac. There's nothing you want to do that is easy. In fact, some people say if it's easy, it's a scam. From something as basic as getting married, just collecting lists, to starting a business, to everything seems like it has to come with, you really have to put in more effort than is required just to.
There must be a struggle. That's the Nigeria that we have today. So
to be successful in that Nigeria, it's almost is godlike. You are not human anymore. I don't know. I don't want to oversell it, but
no, you don't want to go esoteric.
Oh my goodness!
The truth of the matter is this: the man came, he saw, and he conquered. Much as we say that we are not expecting him to die now, but God knows the best. Sam, look at what this man has done. Forget whether he built a university or perhaps he was in charge of Access Bank. I was reading through the MD, the CEO of Guaranty Trust Bank. He said he's my competitor. But if you want to assess people, he's the best person to reach out to. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? He was not selfish, that a community will have to close down for the last 2 weeks. I'm sure you are following the trend in Ishobo, that the traditional ruler, I'm not saying that he's a saint, but then from what has happened now, from the period of his death, even enemies will unite there today.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? His value, his essence. That's what we're talking about.
All right, we'd like you to be a part of this conversation. 0817-923-0002. The passing of Mr. Ibu, International Women's Day. Facebook, Instagram shut down. And of course, the burial, which should be today, of Herbert Wigwe. We'd like your thoughts on any of those topics. Call back if you can. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416, and we're live on Facebook and Twitter, so you can watch as you listen. More importantly, drop your comments. Ezekiel Isaiah says, the passing of Mr. Ibu came to me as a big shock after he survived the amputation of his leg. What a life. May his soul rest in peace. Yes, indeed. Our thoughts and wishes We're hoping the family, even though, of course, there were lots of narratives about, his family life and how things were not okay at home. But as Mr. Isaac said, it is for us, the living, to learn the lessons that the dead have taught. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my brother in the studio.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Blessed from Malo. I also greet your guests in the studio also.
Thank you.
Whatever we do today, tomorrow shall tell. It's a big lesson for those people who have left now, and the people that are remaining need to learn lesson from them. Are we talking of Mr. Ibu death? We need to learn lesson from there, because he already suffered from the amputated of his leg. His leg was amputated and he survived. Later, he died. It's a lesson to all of us. Secondly, the late Abatigwe that they are burying today, my brother, no matter what you acquire in this world, one day you do, one day you be no more. And the legacy you leave behind is whatever you did when you were alive. That's what they are going to talk about you. See, let me tell you one thing. No matter how Nigeria it is, Nigeria is suffering, and we have big people in this country. When you know that some of the Nigerian citizens cannot elevate, cannot go to school because of nobody can sponsor them. And then many of them, they have what it takes to say, and beg, declare free education from primary level to tertiary level. But they didn't do that. All we know, when they dive in it, they will say they are the CEO of social place, they are the famous of social place, they are not living, they have how many children, they have access everywhere. My brother, have you heard that somebody that died from Nigeria here or from any other country go with his own assets into the grave? The answer is no. That's my own concern. Finally, pertaining the shutdown of Facebook and the Instagram, Nigeria are still lagged behind. They're supposed to pay damages that people that's making money on that particular internet business. So that is not good at all. Our federal government will do the needful to put things in order. The way the country going is not okay with us, and there's a lot of sabotage that causes this. That's my own concern. Thank you very much, Blessed from Malo.
All right, thank you very much, Blessed. Well, I understand the point you made about the CEO that passed. You must understand the place of responsibility. While the humanitarian efforts and reaching out in the best way you can is necessary, is it in the place of a person in that position to give you free education?
No, education is a social right. Government has a lot to do in terms of educating the citizen, because government is the sole beneficiary when the citizens are enlightened. That's true. Individuals can only make contributions towards the development of the education life. Also remember that education is a responsibility.
Yeah.
Parents owe their children the responsibility to educate them.
Yes, indeed. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Harry.
All right, please go ahead. Okay.
Yes. What the last caller said, according to what the last caller said, he said, yes, if what you have money, your money must affect people's life, and they will remember you for that. Look at now all the big men we have in this country. What are they doing with their money? Tomorrow you have the money, and tomorrow you might leave. Look at now this man may still rest in perfect peace. Look at one person. Now, when you talk about free education, one person is doing it in this country. A man of God, Apostle Shibuzo, sharing the gift, is doing this. Look at go to almost the whole state now. He has free education. What are our big men, the politicians that are stealing our money are not doing all those things? A man of God is doing free education, taking people to outside the country, make sure that their family is okay. If you carry one person to the country, to a developed country, that person will stand up for his family.
Okay.
What are our big men doing? Thank you, my brother.
All right, thank you very much. An interesting question here on. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that Apostle Chibuzo Chinyere is doing a lot in terms of education. You can only see from where you are standing. That is why we have the angle of elevation and angle of depression. Sam, there are a lot of others. I know of a denomination here in Nigeria, even in Port Harcourt, that has been building schools. One of them is Christ Embassy, and they are quiet about that. If so many others are also doing it, all we're saying is that collectively we can all make the world a better place. If we have opportunity to help people, let's do it. Okay? But when people don't help you, please also find a way to help yourself. That may be a step to the future.
Okay, the question is, wasn't the Meta shut down worldwide? The federal government should do it. It's reacting to the comment of the guy who called earlier.
Sam, you know, they say, allow waiting chop food leak soup. We can see it from that angle. It's a worldwide thing. Mark Zuckerberg is not in Nigeria. Facebook is not only in Nigeria. It's a worldwide thing. So we can excuse something so that we can enjoy our peace.
All right. Well, moving from that, NEMA trended on Monday after reports that suspected hoodlums looted some food warehouses belonging to the National Emergency Management Agency in the FCT. But NEMA's spokesman, Manzo Ezekiel, said the looted facility does not belong to the agency, but said NEMA has intensified security around their warehouses to avoid such issues.
This is to clarify that the looted warehouse does not belong to NEMA. However, the agency sympathizes with owners of the looted warehouse. To forestall any security breach at NEMA facilities, the Director General, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, has directed zonal directors and heads of operations to strengthen security around NEMA offices and warehouses nationwide.
All right, our correspondent gathered that the looted warehouses belongs to the FCTA, it's a Federal Capital Territory Administration. Meanwhile, police have arrested 15 suspects over the looting of one of the warehouses. And the police said it has beefed up security at the warehouses belonging to NEMA nationwide following the looting of warehouses in the FCT by suspected hoodlums. Now, in the meantime, the organized private sector has warned that the looting of food trucks going from warehousing to food trucks by suspected hoodlums can lead to the shutdown of industries if not checked. This is as miscreants attack trucks conveying building materials and spaghetti in Ogun and Kaduna State. Some youths stole food items from trucks stuck in traffic along the Kaduna Road in the Suleja area of Niger State last week. Meanwhile, the DSS confirmed the reports on looting of warehouses and food trucks in the northeast as a result of the food crisis. So many episodes to this, but at least we know that we can. I don't know if we should blame this on hunger.
Sam, I like treating the real issue and not the symptom. If you have malaria and you've not gone for diagnosis, you will be taking, analgesics for headache, but that will not remove the plasmodium from your system. There's a big plasmodium in the system. Let's remove the plasmodium.
I don't want to interrupt you, sir, but if you go to a health center to treat the malaria and they say, okay, you need to lie down for a bit, and the person responsible for making sure you have where to lie down has not done his job, it will also affect the process. So while you are treating it from the root, which is important, those responsible for where we are now, right? Where we are now, they've started looting, so we'll call on security agencies also have a part to play. In the first place, this is not the first time things have been looted. How many people have been brought to book for looting? Well, they've arrested 15 suspects, so that's just an arrest. Will they go to court? I don't know. Let's be very factual. It's Nigeria for you. Somebody will come from somewhere and say, leave them, and they will go. But somebody's capital has been depleted, and no bank is ready to give you loan now. Are you aware? If you go to bank now to ask for loan, you must be an extraordinary human being, or you must be a state government that collects revenue every day. For a private individual or an investor to go to bank and collect loan, they will tell you that the changing nature of the currency and especially the floating of the naira will not allow them to give you loan. And you are paying so much in terms of mortgage if you're doing that. So my message is this: it is not good to waste the effort of others in the name of looting. They are not responsible for what is happening. That's one. And then the looters should be identified and brought to books. That's exactly what I'm saying. And then thirdly, let us help ourselves. We're all going through the same stress. The manufacturer is going through the same problem. The consumer is going through the same problem. Nobody is free. So why do we need to kill one in order to rise on the other side? We're almost at a break, and I would want a yes or no answer to this question. Will the excuse or the reason na hunger cause am be valid? It's not valid.
Everybody is hungry. Have you eaten breakfast this morning?
It's because of when the show starts. The show starts very early. I can't eat before.
But then Nigerians don't eat 3 square meals now. They eat 2 square meals.
Mr. Isaac, somebody is dying of hunger. There is a truck broken down in front of you with spaghetti. If you take one, maybe nothing will happen. You are dying of hunger.
Sam,
I'm not encouraging anybody to steal, please, on radio. But I'm painting a picture where we might understand the hunger.
Argumentum non sequitur. It doesn't follow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go for this break, non sequitur. And when we come back, we discuss other things. Stay with us.
Calling all aspiring students in Port Harcourt.
Run through what we have left. Mr. Isaac is still here. River State Governor Similai Fubara says if need be, he will give up his position as governor to bring peace to the state. Governor Fubara said no sacrifice is too big for him to pay for the success of the state. The governor stated this in an interview on AIT on Thursday, so that was very much within this week. I'll quickly play what the governor said and get the thoughts of my guest on this. All right, here you go.
My burden at that time wasn't the issue of all the drama. It's the millions of Rivers people who had made sacrifice, who are seeing opportunity, and it looks as if their hope are being dashed. They were the ones I was worried about. What would be their fate? I am the governor. There are things I could have done, and there would have been total crisis. But your ability to restrain in the face of crisis is when you have the power to do things. It's maturity. Sacrifice will be too big for me to pay for the success of this administration. It's not political love. It's not because I want to gain any favor from anybody. My interest and love for Adia State is genuine. I am not trying to say I want to be one man that will be there to decide the fate of.
All right, Mr. Isaac, very quickly, the governor says he's ready to give up his position for the interest of peace, and the fact that he was able to restrain himself showed maturity. Your take?
Opinion are sacred, so we'll allow him to share his opinion, but the implications are obvious. If Jonathan has actually fought a good fight when he lost the election, maybe things would have changed. That's one. And then number two, if the governor is saying that for the interest of peace he's going to give out his position, a lot of people have actually staked their lives on the line for him. I wonder what he will do to talk to them. And then thirdly, there are also opinion. Is it that the governor has made so much money and so he wants to go? Because if he goes, nobody is going to probe him for that. That's an opinion. And then finally, the governor should consider that his action is directing the lifestyle of other people. Giving the opposition the opportunity means that we're not doing things right. You know, moral acquiescence with evil is evil in itself. The governor should stay. He has come to stay.
If the way you said it, as if we're in a village meeting, stay. You're not going anywhere. If staying, and I don't know, how I will come to this, but hypothetically, if staying is going to lead to chaos, would it not be wise to leave?
It is better to be an autocrat than to be a benevolent Democrat. Thank you.
Wow. I don't agree, but now what?
Yes.
Okay, finally, and you might just have to say one line to this. We have to add it. Bandits kidnap over 200 primary school pupils in Kaduna.
How did it happen? I'm a school teacher. Did they tie rope on the neck of the children and ask them to start moving?
Well, if it happened with Chibok and Dapchi and many schools after that...
It's a different thing, my brother. The world has grown. I sympathize with the family, but the world has grown. They should tell us another narrative.
Okay, Mr. Isaac, it's 9 o'clock.
Good morning.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you for making the time. It's always a pleasure sharing space with you.
All right.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You too. And that's it on today's episode of The Front Page. Join us again next Saturday at 8 a.m. to catch the updates on the biggest stories making headlines for the week. The news around the world comes up next. Please stay with us.